When the HOA fee notice arrived that spring, I nearly spit out my coffee. The monthly dues had jumped from $180 to $250, a massive increase. The letter explained the change as necessary for community beautification projects, specifically the HOA President's Garden Fund. I frowned. Garden Fund. Grandpa, sitting at the kitchen table, leaned over and read the notice. Looks like she wants us to pay for her tulips, boy. Karen, our ever-meddling HOA president, had been bragging for months about her exclusive garden design, which just so happened to be located entirely in her backyard. Most neighbors assumed she was footing the bill herself. Now it looked like she wanted us all to bankroll it. But here's the kicker. What Karen didn't know is that I'm the county auditor. My entire job is sniffing out misused funds, fake accounts, and shady bookkeeping. If Karen thought she could shuffle HOA money into her personal flower patch, she was about to get the shock of her life. That evening, I attended the emergency HOA meeting Karen called to explain the importance of the new fees. She strutted to the front of the clubhouse, wearing a sun hat and waving around pictures of her half-finished rose pergola. This garden, she announced proudly, will increase property values for everyone. That's why we all must contribute. A man in the back raised his hand. But it's in your yard. How does that help the rest of us? Karen snapped. It improves the community aesthetic. And as president, I have full discretion over budget allocation. That's when I stood up, pulling a slim binder from my briefcase. Actually, Karen, you don't. She narrowed her eyes. And who are you to say that? I opened the binder to the HOA's bylaws. Section 8, Paragraph 3. Funds must be used for common property improvements only, parks, sidewalks, pools. Personal property doesn't qualify. That means your garden fund is not only improper, it's illegal. The room erupted in murmurs. Karen flushed red. You can't accuse me of illegality. I run this HOA fairly. I held up another document. I'm not accusing you, Karen. I'm auditing you. Dead silence. One homeowner whispered, Wait, auditing? I nodded. I'm the county auditor. And as of this moment, I've opened an investigation into HOA financial practices. Every check, every transfer, every so-called administrative expense you've claimed for the past 2 years will be reviewed. Karen's mouth dropped open. You can't do that. Oh, I can, I said firmly. And if I find that member funds have been redirected for personal use, it could mean fines, removal from office, even criminal charges. Over the next 2 weeks, my office tore through the HOA's books. What we found was worse than anyone expected. $14,000 billed to garden services, all spent on Karen's yard. $7,200 in decorative lighting, installed exclusively around her patio. And the best one, $2,500 in wildlife management fees, which turned out to be her hiring someone to chase squirrels away from her bird feeders. When the final report was ready, I called a special homeowners assembly. Standing at the front, I laid it all out page by page. Ladies and gentlemen, your dues were misused. Instead of improving your community, they funded Karen's private oasis. That is a clear violation of both HOA bylaws and state law. The room was electric. Neighbors shouted, I knew it! And she owes us every dime back. Karen tried to speak, but I cut her off. Karen, the board has already voted. You are hereby removed as president effective immediately. Additionally, restitution will be pursued through legal channels. The fallout was swift. Karen was ordered to repay nearly $25,000 to the HOA. Her precious garden pergola was dismantled on her own dime, and the county slapped her with a fine for financial misappropriation. A new president was elected, someone with actual transparency, and HOA dues dropped back to their original rate. A week later, Grandpa and I were sitting on the porch when we saw a truck hauling away Karen's ornate flower pots. He let out a laugh so deep he nearly spilled his iced tea. Well, he said, guess her garden wilted faster than spring flowers. I smiled, leaning back in my chair. Lesson learned. Never plant seeds with other people's money.